Hey, what's up guys? Sloth King here. Today I'm going to show you how to diagnose a bad wheel bearing. It's pretty simple and easy to do. Well, sometimes it's not that easy to do. Sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out if it is bad or not, because sometimes they don't show the proper symptoms. But anyway, that's on some other occasions. Most of the time it's pretty obvious. So let's get right into this. All right, so I'm working on this 2009 Ford Mustang and we're gonna check out the rears. Been hearing a roaring sound whenever driving and taking certain turns. One way to find out if you have a bad wheel bearing is if you're driving and you hear like a roar, roar, roar kind of sound, and like you take a turn. Let's say you're taking a right and the sound goes away. And then you take a left and the sound is there. That means the right side of your vehicle has the fault problem on it. So think of it like this. Whenever you're taking a left, you're putting a load on the right side of the car. And then when you take a right, you're putting a load on the left side of the car. That means you're taking weight off of the right side. So the bearing whirring sound or grinding sound goes away because there's not enough weight on it. But when you put the weight on that problem side, you're gonna hear it grind a lot more. That's one way to find out. That's if your bearing is getting really bad or starting to get pretty bad. The other way is to jack up your vehicle and then rotate your tire from 9 and 3 o'clock and then 12 and 6 o'clock, like this. So if you grab the wheel and you tilt it, like shake it left and right, you can kind of hear it. Let me see if I can put my mic up on it. There's a little bit of clunk, and then let's try up and down. This will not show all of the time. Other times, if you pull on it a little bit, I hear it there. It's going pretty, like it's going out, like it's having play back and forth. It's not supposed to do that. Now, if you hear that sound whenever you like turn it from, or push on it from 3 and 9 o'clock, that's the same sound that you're gonna hear. Another way is to rotate the tire and you're gonna hear a scratching sound coming from the brake pad. So let me show you that. That's a higher pitch part, but if you turn the wheel faster, you're gonna hear more of a groaning sound, like a lower tone, like this. You hear that? That is the bearing going out. You hear that lower groan, grinding sound. That's going to be amplified when you're driving a faster speed. So if you hear that and you hear it get louder and louder and louder the faster you go, and quieter the slower you go, that's most likely your wheel bearing. Check both sides. Well, check all of your wheels for it. This, I checked the driver's side. The driver's side has it, but it's not as bad as this one. It has that in and out kind of feel, but it doesn't have the groan as bad. Another way to isolate it is if you have a stethoscope, an automotive stethoscope. And it's hard for me to pick it up on the mic because I'm wearing a shirt microphone, or a lav mic for you audio guys. And you put it on the back of the hub. I'll show you where to put it real quick. I'm not gonna do it. I already listened to it and I hear the groan. The groan is amplified. You also hear the amplified of the scratchingness from the pads. So let me show you where you can put the stethoscope so you can listen to it a little bit closer. So here is the back of the hub. And if you look, you can put the stethoscope on here or on that nut there or right on this backing plate. But mostly you want to put it on this back part of the hub, the mounting area, or one of these nuts. And you will hear that groaning sound get amplified. Now, what I'm noticing too is that it is kind of wet back here. So that's giving me a sign that this rear axle is leaking. So that is probably why the wheel bearing is going bad as well. There's a groaning sound and it's leaking a little bit. That means some dirt got in contact. So I'm gonna have to replace that axle seal while we're in there as well. And one last way to tell if your wheel bearing is going bad is to grab your coil on your shock. So the Mustang was kind of hard to reach in there since it's not a shock on coil type of setup. The spring is on the rear axle. Now on my Supra, I have a independent suspension in the back. So what you're going to do is just rest your finger lightly on the spring and rotate the tire or the wheel, and you should feel a vibration. If your wheel bearing is bad enough, you will feel that roughness, that vibration whenever you turn your wheel. So yeah, I feel it in here. The Supra also has 2 rear wheel bearings going out too. This one has some play in it. The passenger side is worse, but that is probably the best way to check it out. You will definitely feel the vibrations really, really thoroughly by just resting your fingers on that spring. So hopefully that helped you guys out. One other way to diagnose it as well is if your wheel doesn't spin freely, like if you got to put some force into it. Now, when you're working on a car that's rear wheel drive like this, you're gonna have to put some force in it anyway because there's a differential back there and then the drive shaft is gonna have to move as well. So it's gonna have to be a little more force, but it should be pretty easy to spin. Now, if you're using a rear wheel drive vehicle for an example, the front wheels, they're gonna spin freely. Now, if you have a bad front wheel bearing, that one is a lot easier to diagnose because there's pretty much no moving parts attached. There's no CV axle because it's not front wheel drive. It's just a steering wheel, you know? And that one, if it doesn't spin freely, chances are it's a wheel bearing. But if you don't hear the groaning, it could be a stuck caliper. So anyways, that's how you diagnose for a bad wheel bearing. If this helped you guys out, awesome. You better get that fixed pretty soon. Don't put this off. It is a little expensive, but you know, if you don't have to press it out, if you have a wheel bearing that is a hub type that just bolts in, that is very easy to do. But if you have one that needs to get pressed in, that's a lot harder. Anyways, if you want to support the channel, you can go ahead and click in the link in the description below for my shop. You can pick up one of these t-shirts. I also have another one. It's pretty cool. You can pick up one of these hats. And like always, I'll catch you guys on the next ride.